on, Cubs fam? We are back for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and today, my friends, I am super happy to bring you another whale chat. We have got so many whales loving to talk about this game, and with the announcement of Jedi Luke, the kit, the controversy and everything, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to bring in the whales, get their take on if they're going for this, if they're protesting, if they're happy, if they're pissed, whatever they are. And let's introduce these whales to you guys right now. You're gonna recognize a lot of familiar faces here. We have got Fulbright, a whale chat regular. How you doing today, Fulbright?
Oh, doing wonderful, Cubs. Doing wonderful, man.
Excellent. And then Heinzie, we're not even gonna let him say hi because he talks too much. And then, no, I'm just kidding. What's up, Heinzie? He's not even.
I'm not talking.
All right, and then we got Ram Bam as well. What's up, Ram Bam?
What's going on, Cubs? Thanks for having me on the channel. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. And much to everyone's dismay, we do have Ranger from RSG in here to tell us about how much the Cowboys suck.
I'm so amazing that when I walk in the room, everyone succeeds.
Everyone okay. All right, and then a newcomer to the whale chat, a first timer. We have got Yoda Force. Now, Yoda Force, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna baptize you into the whale chat and ask you the tough question. Does that sound
All
okay?
right. Let's do it.
Okay, everyone else has accounted, but for you, you haven't yet. How much have you spent on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Your best estimate?
Best estimate, over 100. Okay.
Over 100K. See, at first it was like over $100. Okay, 100K. Okay, all right. He means 1,000. All right. So, Yoda Force, glad to have you. Now, the way that we're going to do this, everyone, I am actually recording this live on Twitch. And so for everyone who's here on Twitch, I'm going to let them ask some questions as well. I'm going to monitor the chat while I'm recording this video. I have a couple questions I want to start with. And then as we get going, I'm going to turn to the chat a little bit and let some of the common folk out there, you guys, ask some of these questions. Now, if you want to be here for one of these videos live, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'm streaming every day, Monday through Friday, starting usually at 10 to 10:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then I'll go for about 3-4 hours. Sometimes I'll come back, like today. This is a bonus stream just for this video. And so to get things kicked off, I just want to go down the line and ask if everyone is going to get Jedi Luke, and just give me your general feeling on it. Are you happy, stoked, lukewarm, pissed, or whatever? And so don't give a lot of context yet. I just want to hear, are you getting him and are you happy about it? So let's start with Yoda Force. We'll go right to left.
Well, I am very happy about it. I think this was a good move by CG. They stuck to their normal standard of giving very little time, but it's good character for the long-time players.
Okay. And you, I'm assuming you will get him then.
Yes.
Okay. Ranger.
I am terrified. I am going to get him, but then if you've ever watched me go for these characters, I foresee 7 to 15 hours of my life being lost trying to get said character, because I'll go in there with just the relic 3s and lots of drinking and eating will ensue.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so you're gonna get him, but you're nervous mostly about the event. As far as the character itself, do you feel like it's good for the game? Are you okay with it? Are you happy? How do you feel about that?
Well, we'll break down. We can go into his kit if you want. I gave him a B+ on the kit. I think it's a really good kit. I think it's depending on where you're at, if you should go for him. I've been getting a lot of that on our channel, which we can get into later. But I think he's a B+. I think he's a solid character. I think he's good. So yeah, we can get into more of that stuff later.
Okay, yeah, and we'll do a whole segment on the kit. I want to focus probably first on how we feel about the timing of all of this. I think we'll probably keep the conversation there. I think that's what a lot of people are feeling. Then move into a little bit more generally on the kit and some of the lore considerations that people are concerned about. All right, Ram Bam, you gonna get him, and how do you feel?
So yes, I will be getting him.
Okay.
I'm a couple characters short of taking him to relics, obviously Captain Han and Rolo. But yeah, I should be able to get him, and as per our last whale chat, it will be entirely free to play. I have stopped spending. So I was lucky enough that the requirements are not terrible for him.
Okay.
Contrary, I mean, for veteran players, they're not terrible. For newcomers, I think it's a little bit more of a struggle.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily agree with the timing. I think the timing could have been a lot better. especially coming right after Galactic Legends.
Right. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Heinzie, how you feeling? Are you gonna get him?
Yeah, look, I think I will get him, to be honest. I've got, everyone, I've just got to get finishes sorted on, I think, 3 or 4 characters, and Lando is probably the only one that I've left out there on the cold a bit, so I've got to work on him. But yeah, look, I believe that that'll be fine. After work today, I'll have some fun and build him up, certainly. But yeah, in regard to the sentiment, I mean, I'm glad I've got him, but I'm glad that he's coming to the game. Let's be honest. It's something that we've had on our screens for about 3 or 4 years. But on the flip side, I wish I felt a lot more happiness about him still coming to the game. There's certainly a lot of, negativity and sentiment about the timing. We know that.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes, and that's the way life is. I don't think there's anyone going to leave because they can't get Jedi Luke as far as leave the game. I mean, some will, but I can't see the bulk of people nowhere near what Relics and Gas did, to be fair. That
Right.
was certainly something where we lost a lot of people to the game back then. So, yeah, look, the sentiment's still there. Yeah, look, I'll get him. I'm glad he's coming to the game. It's overdue. Timing's a bit sketchy, but whether that was planned or not, who knows?
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And then last but not least, Fulbright.
Yes, sir.
You gonna get him, and how do you feel about it in general?
Does a bear crap in the woods?
Okay, you're getting him.
I'm going to get him, and I feel really good about it. And I've got a different perspective, I'm sure, than what a lot of people do, because I kind of see this for what it really is.
Okay.
And I personally think that it's a good thing as far as for the financial health of the game.
Okay, so let's start with you then, because I do want to talk about the timing, and I want to get your take on this. And I mean, you guys have heard my take on this. While I'm actually, after seeing the requirements and seeing the kit and everything, I'm actually really not that enraged about Jedi Luke in particular. I just think it's really bad timing on the heels of Galactic Legends. Kind of similar to how I felt about Relics when they first hit and it was so close to Gear 13. It just felt like a tone-deaf timing of the whole thing. And so, Fulbright, specifically with timing, do you agree? I mean, I want to hear your take, but do you agree that the community is right to feel a little awkward about this timing?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So you and me disagree. Convince me.
Well, here's the thing. This deal is nothing but an olive branch that they have thrown out to the old players, number one, and the new players that are spenders.
Okay.
They're sitting there saying, okay, you've only been playing a year. You've already got a lot of these characters because everybody needs almost all of these characters to play any type of competitive play in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, you're only missing 3. That's not bad. That's
Right.
not bad. So you can have a guy that's been playing a year and a half that can easily access this as long as they're a spender.
Right. And that's,
You know-
I will agree with you on the sense that the requirements for me don't feel as stifling as Galactic Legends did. Galactic Legends just felt like I don't ever want to go with this. And I've kind of learned to accept, if I'm a free to play player, I don't expect to get the character first time around. I expect to get him
Right.
second or third time around. And that seems very realistic to me. And so that's something that I'm not as enraged about. But as far as
well,
like
so-
the lack
Consider
of
this, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, consider this. Let's say you've been playing this game 2 years, and you're a dolphin,
Uh-huh.
right? You put a little bit here and there, and you're sitting there going, "Well, I can't do these Galactic Legends. This game is getting away from me. I can't do this. I might be able to get 1, but I can't get 2. I'm discouraged now. I'm going to, maybe not support the game financially anymore or whatever." Right? But this is something that has a kit that is going to be really, really, really daunting unless it's going against the most premium thing ever, which is Galactic Legend, right? So here I am, if I'm a Dolphin guy, I can go, well, man, for a couple $100, I can have the next best thing and still stay super competitive at a lower GP.
Right.
I mean, I see that as a pure bold move that have been hiding in their pocket, just waiting for the right time to throw it out.
Interesting.
That's the way I see it.
Where I disagree with you there is I do think this was planned, and I think it was always meant to coincide with the anniversary of Return of the of Empire Strikes Back. But I think that's an
I agree.
interesting
I agree.
alternative take on that. Now,
But
as far as health of the game is concerned, though, Fulbright or maybe somebody else, if anyone wants to jump in there on this one, do you really think that it's healthy for the game to have this severe drought and lack of content that we've had, and then release a character like this, another massive paywall, without still having any content that comes for the common player base? I mean, from where you guys sit as heavy spenders in this game, obviously it's another toy that you can go get for seemingly less of a price tag as you paid for Galactic Legends. But would you empathize or appreciate the perspective of players who aren't spending as much as you, or free to play, who just have nothing to do?
I want to jump in on this. I would like to jump in on this one. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading all these people saying that the whales are brainwashed and we don't know anything about what they're going through in their struggle. To me, CG is using this as a way of saying, listen, you younger players that haven't been out here, that aren't spenders, that's not a problem. We know you're not going to be quick to get Galactic Legends, but why not take Galactic Luke or Jedi Luke? It's a big deal to somebody that can't go through all that to get a GL. But if you get Luke, that's a good thing.
Right. Okay.
And this is the thing I will tell you, Cubs, man, is no, this is not like they haven't done anything to address any of the crap that we were mad about and still angry about last week. They still haven't given us any type of road ahead. They still haven't given us any type of new content. They have given us no reason at all for a free to play guy to continue to play in the game. So whenever I said that this right here is just an olive branch to the younger spenders and the old players, I mean that. It is nothing more than that.
But
And
for the
we do
free to
need-
play,
we do need to, for the free to play,
I
it's
disagree
nothing.
with it. I disagree with that, but I'll let him finish this point, Cubs, and then I'll
I mean,
speak up.
okay,
no,
we're going to
go ahead,
Ranger
man.
after this.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Ranger.
Well, okay, so I don't. Is it an olive branch? No, it's a cash grab. The requirements are Relic 3 on all the characters, and some of them are characters that you can't get unless you've Wampa, Hermit Yoda, or get one. I don't care how much you spent in this game if you haven't had a chance to get those. And a lot of people haven't that are new players because what's the priority? Malik and Gas, right?
Right.
And the other one is Captain Han is from Hothray. Like, I'm sorry, but forget Captain Han. But those
Cholo.
characters are
Just call him Cholo.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the characters, yeah, they are what they are. Again, there'll be some useless characters with relics on there that you have to do a minimum. It's 9 characters compared to 14, so it's not as much as the Galactic Legend, but a lot of the new players can't get these characters because they just have not had a chance to like get the characters. And I think CG is a little tone deaf too, because if you look at the packs, going through the packs yesterday, did not understand them other than the Lando pack. I thought the Lando pack for $9.99 with the 30 shards each, pretty solid. For $20, you got 60 total with some decent stuff with it. The other packs, they had like 12 of Wampa and some of Hermit Yoda. I'm like, why would you buy that? It doesn't help you in the slightest. Like, why even put that pack out there? Is it kind of a tip to the cap to the veterans that have played a long time and stuff? Sure. But I mean, if you're a newer player, it gives you something to work toward. I don't think CLS is a counter or going to be a hard counter or any kind of counter to the Galactic Legends because they made him that way, period. I'm still baffled by his kit with no Rebel synergies.
We'll talk about the kit here in a bit. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that goes against that. Is it an olive branch to maybe the veteran players? Sure, but for a lot of people out there, maybe 2 years or less have been playing the game. They don't have Hermit Yoda completed. They don't have Wampa completed. They're going to have to make a choice. And the choice I've been telling people is if you don't have a Galactic Legend, don't go for Jedi Luke because you might as well take that gear and stuff with the relics you're going to need anyway for Galactic Legends and at least get one of those. Now, if you do, then if you want to go for Luke, cool. But you have to really think about it, especially if you're a competitive free to play, which I do have some people that do that and that have asked me, like, if you've got a Galactic Legend, get Luke. I think that'd be fine. I think he has a lot of stuff and you can have some fun with them. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to this. 3PO, you have to go. Chewbacca, you have to go other teams to get that character. I mean, there's a lot of characters in here that you have to get through other hoops to get it. So
yeah. So I want to make a couple.
It's crazy.
I want to make a couple quick points. First and foremost, And I'm getting a little pulse of what the YouTube comments might be after looking at the chat. And I just want to make a very clear statement that we are going to be kind in our comment section to these people
yes.
who have volunteered their time to come and give their takes. They're giving genuine, authentic takes, and if their take is different than yours, that does not mean that it is your place to condescend or disrespect them. We all just see this differently. And this might be one of the more, there might be more discourse in this particular whale chat than others, and I'm going to agree with Ranger on this one. I don't see this as an olive branch personally at all. I absolutely see it as a cash grab personally, but I can respect the perspective there, and how I think, to me, I would look at that less as this is CG giving any kind of goodwill to the community. To me, it's more like that's a silver lining. You can look at it this way and try to feel better about it, but the timing is just, in my humble opinion, very horrible. Now I want to move to the middle of the group here.
To the community, it might be a cash grab. To
Yeah.
CG, they might be looking at it as an olive branch. Now, granted, it's not the olive branch that, in my opinion, we needed. I don't think Galactic or Jedi Knight Luke, whatever, in this particular case would have been a good olive branch, or maybe something better, maybe, you know, something that says that they're listening to the community, maybe another mode. Because in my opinion, I'm just like every other character or player here. I sit here and I spin my characters and I play for 10, 15 minutes and then I'm done, because there's nothing else to do outside of Grand Arena or a territory battle, territory war. So maybe CG's thinking that it's an olive branch. I'm with you though. I'm thinking it's a cash grab.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of the most sought after characters in the history of this game. And so I definitely think they know that, and they're pressing on it as such. Heinze, we haven't heard from you on this subject. I'd like to give you a chance to kind of respond to what's been said so far. Where are you at on this? And then we're going to move on to the kit discussion. But before we do that, I want to open up the chat. Everyone, fill up the chat with questions on how we feel about the timing and CG's perspective and all of that. Fill up with questions for the whales in the chat, and I'll maybe pick one or two to answer before we get on to the kit. Heinze.
Just a quick one. Yeah, look, obviously again, we talked about it before, the timing is quite strange. They probably did expect to release it around then, as we already discussed. With the Galactic Legend pushback, I think it's overlapped it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not an olive branch, in my opinion. You know, you need Hermit Yoda and Wampa. Any new spender to the game won't get that unless they've acquired an account against the terms of service, of course. So you should never do that. Which already has a lot of the guild event tokens loaded in it. But anyone going after that, I think, you know, I just can't see them going for it. An olive branch, I don't think so. We still, again, haven't got the response that we were after from last week, I think, as far as the community sentiment. I think we've still been treated like trash. And the answer to that is bring out some more packs and a new character and no content. It's just not good enough. I mean, you know, how have we got a Star Wars game with a Death Star raid in it? Let's be honest. I mean, it's just disgusting. Really, let's be
Fantastic.
It's just not good enough. It just isn't. How have we got a game? We watched the freaking movies because of the Death Star in 2 out of the 3 major movies, and we haven't got a raid built around.
3 out of the 4. Let's not forget Starkiller Base, right?
Oh my! Well, that's a different one, isn't it? That's the Frozen one. But at the end of the day, let's let that go. Let it go. Yeah, look, it's one of those things that really I just can't believe that we haven't got a Death Star raid or something like that built into our game, which is a fundamental aspect of, you know, the original trilogy. It baffles me. It really does.
All right, so here's the question that caught my intrigue. This is from Carl Rich Guy, and he says, how connected are you guys with the other whales? Have you heard a majority sentiment on spending, slowdown / boycotting, kind of more in connection to what's been going on last week? What have you guys been hearing on that? We've had a lot of attention on that. Especially today, as we film this video, we even had a major creator, Arnold, call and tell everyone not to buy Jedi Luke. And so what are you guys seeing people say about that, and what's kind of the general sentiment amongst the major krakens and whales that you're talking to?
It's been a mixture. I mean, but a lot of the Krakens have most of these characters relics and stuff already, so it's not like they're making.
They don't even
Um,
have to spend that much.
right. I mean, the one thing I've been hearing is like, didn't really do much with. They'll have to put a little bit toward Captain Han
Rolo.
and Leia, right? That's the big one that kind of we were kind of waiting to see what it was going to be. Some were kind of happy that it wasn't Lobot. We done it with Lobot. I was one of them. I was sitting there 6 stars, like, no, that would have sucked. So it's been a kind of mixture. They're not really. It's been some of the other ones that haven't really spent, that do have the characters that are
Right.
a little in the in between fence, and then a few were like, yeah, yeah. So it's been all over the board. I
Okay.
think you got a good mix of these guys here too.
What's it like over in Shadowlands, Fulbright or Yoda Force? Let's actually use this. Let's send this to Yoda Force.
All right. Well, a lot of the questions I've been getting outside of just Shadowlands are people asking who's running it, who's in charge, who's organizing the non-spending, because the YouTubers, they talk about it, but there's no true organization about it. So that's part of that aspect about the non-spending. But for a lot of people in Shadowlands, a lot of these tunes, once you get a galactic legend, there's nothing else to get. You just
Mm,
start hoarding all this material. So
mhm.
when we have to get these guys up to Relic 3, which is a blessing that we're not putting Relic 7 on these characters.
Right.
It really isn't a big deal. We have free to play character members in Vanguard that are like, you know what? I could stop my GLs for a week and get Luke.
Mm.
Perfect. So I mean, the requirements aren't crazy.
Yeah. And I do feel that way too. I mean, I think the notice is, if I was where I would be enraged right now with the event, and I said this on my channel already, so sorry for reiterating. If I were to be close to getting him, I would be more enraged because the notice makes it difficult. It's such short notice, and I have to rush to get there. But because I'm definitely not getting there in this time or even close to it, it's easy to just go, all right, well, this feels reasonable to farm within the next 6 months. I'm just gonna do it and get him next time he comes around. And that to me doesn't really bother me a whole lot. It's just a matter of freaking we need content right now. And I think that's where the tone deafness of this comes out to me. That we did not need another paywall character. We know paywall characters are gonna happen, but there's got to be something to balance that out that the rest of the community can partake in, and the community at large that is not wailing or not just incredibly organized, farming lucky, free to play is being kind of left in the dust right now. All right, now let's shift the conversation away from this. I want to talk a little bit more specifically about Jedi Luke's kit. Do you guys feel like he's powerful enough, true to lore? Like, what are your thoughts about the kit? Are you happy with it?
It's baffling, and some of it's really good. Like there's certain aspects, like some of his leadership and some of the abilities he can do, amazing, right?
Mhm.
But then it's not the kit itself. I think the kit's really good. It's the synergies. The rebel thing completely throws me off. Like
Yeah.
I don't get now for balancing purposes, sure, right? If you're gonna say balancing purposes, we couldn't keep him with like CLS, Han, and Chewie. Come on, he's one of the big. This is the big gun right here. Like when you think Star
Right.
Wars, you think Luke and Han and Chewie and Leia going through the galaxy and having adventures. And I mean, you want to have that to use on your team. You can still use it, but they don't have any synergy, and it just seems so baffling. I mean, that's why I gave it a B plus. I think there's a lot of good stuff in the kit. I think it's balanced well. That being said, there's a lot of stuff that you can't do with him. And I'm just sitting there like thinking about like who you're gonna use him with and on. It's gonna be interesting to see
Yeah.
because you're not using him with the rebels and you're gonna use him with a bunch of Jedi that are not like some of the good Jedi. It's like, okay, I
And they're
guess,
also asking you to tear up a bunch of teams, right? Because you've got
I
General
know, but
Kenobi taken out of the Padme team. You got Yoda taken out of the Revan team.
like, do they? I mean, for Rena, that's fine, but for
Yeah.
like GAC and TW, that's not gonna fly. Again,
Right.
I wonder if they play the games. It's like, what?
So So I like some of the kit stuff that they included in there. The direct callback to Battlefront 2 with Repulse, amazing inclusion.
Yeah,
Definitely worthwhile.
I like that
I
too.
saw that ability and I was like, you know what? That's a Battlefront 2 callback. I love it. Same thing with the leadership, or I think it was leadership called Return of the Jedi. Wonderful callback. I liked it.
I love that too. Yeah.
It was convoluted, but then again, what kit nowadays is not convoluted? I mean,
Well, it kind
whatever.
of made sense to me though too. How because what is a Jedi? A Jedi is very defensive, right?
Mhm.
And I see a Jedi slowing things down, having time to figure things out and having that in his kit to slow down. I actually thought it was kind of a cool way to call out to the lore of a Jedi. Actually,
Yeah, no, and once you kind of sit there and you can actually pick apart the leadership and everything, it sounds cool. Definitely sounds like it's going to be a good character to have. Where the downside I think comes in, again, Ranger already said it, the synergies. I'm sorry, are we just going to forget that Luke was a rebel, that he fought with the rebels in both Hoth and Endor?
yeah,
I'm just kind of confused onto that. The only thing I can think of is maybe they just didn't want him synergizing with C3PO. But then again, CG also backed themselves into a wall with the whole thing about Rey. If you remember when her kick came out, they said, "Hey, we couldn't give her the Jedi tag because we did not want her synergizing with, Jedi Knight Revan because we made him too crazy." Well, then they completely fixed that this time by just saying he only works with regular Jedi, not Old Republic Jedi. So why not do the same thing for Rey? There's just they backed themselves into a wall with this one. It felt like there was something that they've had for a while before Galactic Legends. To me, it feels like this kid has been around for years before Galactic Legends, and they've literally just been sitting on it, waiting for the right time to, or how they feel is the right time to push it out.
right. I'm curious, for everyone in the chat. So I think we can probably all agree. I think we could beat it dead to a horse that we all kind of expected Luke to be a rebel. Does anyone disagree with that sentiment? Is anyone totally content with that?
I disagree, Cubs.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
well,
Fulbright, we're you and me. I hope we can retain our
I,
friendship after this one because
yeah,
I'm
I don't.
disagreeing with you today.
Great. Yeah.
Well, me and Quaid actually had this conversation about this when it first came out,
Okay.
and we were like, that kind of makes sense because this is part of a hero's journey, right? And if you actually look at the hero's journey, how they're trying to mimic not the overall lore of Jedi Luke, but just what we get to see in Return of the Jedi, right? We're
Uh-huh.
going through the Empire Strikes Back to get Jedi Luke. And then Jedi Luke will have a hero's journey event too to get another character. That's how we've started this. From, if you remember, we started with Farm Boy Luke, and then we went through A New Hope to give us CLS. Now we're using CLS to go through Empire Strikes Back, in the Empire Strikes Back to give us Jedi Luke. If you honestly think about it, yeah, he was there at Hoth, but then he kind of went on his own way. He really he doesn't like he didn't after that he didn't really fight with his friends. He went to go rescue Han at the opening of Return of the Jedi,
Right.
but then whenever they get to Endor, what does he do? He leaves his friends to go on his own journey to face Vader.
And he's facing Vader
So to
while
me,
the rebellion is handling the fight outside Death Star 2 and on Endor.
correct. So right now we're looking at just we're looking at what basically the lore within the movies and how they're trying to apply it to this game. I believe that once we get the final hero's journey where you use all the Return of the Jedi characters to get the final iteration of Luke, right? That
Mm.
we'll get to see more synergies and so forth. I think that's the character that's going to be the big game stopper,
So
not this
you're
one.
anticipating yet another version of Luke.
Well, absolutely.
The cash grabbed. So this isn't the cash grab. The real cash grab to end all cash grabs is still to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to have Grandmaster. We have to have, Grandmaster or Jedi Master Luke and then Grandmaster Luke.
Mm.
We got to have all that. We got to go through the entire rise and fall of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I'll agree with Quaid that there's or Fulbright. Yeah, sorry, I said Quaid. I'll agree with Fulbright that there's definitely another version of Luke that's going to come out at some point for sure. Grandmaster Luke, Jedi Master Luke, whatever, Hermit Luke, who knows? But if we're gonna use that logic of Luke really kind of went off and did his own thing, then we have to use that logic for Rey. Why does she have the resistance tag if she really just kind of did her own thing throughout that whole thing? She went on Octo, then she fought Kylo and all that stuff. She wasn't really part of the resistance as far as, fighting in the battles or whatnot.
Okay. I still don't buy it. I mean, maybe if here's how I feel. Like maybe we can have the logic behind not giving him the rebel tag, but the synergy is kind of where I think this really falls flat, because to have this version of Luke, which is the version of Luke we've been waiting for so long, not synergize with anybody from his era, I think is a massive miss on CG's part, and dramatically decreases how cool and exciting I think Jedi Luke should have been. Maybe he's not a rebel, but where's the synergy with Leia? Where's the synergy with Han? Where's the synergy with freaking R2-D2, who went with him for his entire journey? And so to me,
can I jump in, Cubs?
that's a major miss. Go ahead, Heinzie.
Yeah. No, look, I was just about to say exactly the same thing. I mean, we had the same issue when it came around to obviously Sith and Sith Empire when they split them up. They created a new tag for those characters. Why can't there be a new synergized tag for Luke, Jedi Luke, Han, Chewie, Rolo? Get all those guys together on their own faction tag. It's been done before when there's been these sorts of complications when it comes to synergies and kits. So building in some sort of synergy separate in a different tag, why is that not an option? And somehow bring them all together.
My personal take, call me a cynic, because I am very cynical about CG right now. I think that they're a really horrible company.
Are you really?
Yes.
Really?
I'm trying. I've been
that.
trying to be a little bit more positive, but if you guys want to know honestly how I feel, I think that they are one of the most horrible companies I've ever seen as far as business ethics are concerned. But my personal opinion is that the reason why he's not a rebel is because there's too many rebels in the game, and they were too worried about somebody breaking the character and having to nerf him later, and so they kept the synergy a little more focused.
Don't break the game at all, right?
Because I mean, think about it. Because how many times have we released a character and then they have to nerf him to make sure that the meta is good? And so if they release him with the rebel tag, then there's all these rebels that could potentially be better than Galactic Legends. And so I think making him a Jedi and keeping that synergy, even focused within Jedi, excluding all of those Old Republic Jedi, and including the tag about Galactic Legends, making his leadership ability absolutely worthless. I think it was a lazy move to prevent future nerfs.
You know what would have been better than them bringing out, Jedi Knight Luke, and making him work with Jedi? Bringing out some damn Jedi reworks. That would have been even better, because right now they're literally.
We're not doing a Mace rework, bro. We've been.
Mace. Okay, I love Mace,
Come on, get off. Okay. Get off, bloody you and Mace, dude. Seriously, you and Mace. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. All right, so just move on.
Heinzie over here is like Gretchen from Mean Girls, going, "Stop trying to make fetch happen."
Exactly right. Stop trying to make Mace happen, Rambam. We talked about this, bro.
Here's something interesting.
Here's the problem that I have. Right, is you look at the team comp that they're recommending outside of Old Republic Jedi. GK's good.
Yeah,
both Yodas are good. Gas is good. Annie's good. Right, all those characters they're recommending running with him. But guess what? That takes apart a Jedi Knight Revan team. That takes apart a Padme team. It takes apart any Bastila-led team that you're going to try to put together. We have no other Jedi beyond the Old Republic Jedi or the Jedi that they're recommending to stick with Jedi Knight Luke. So him not having a Rebel tag, what are we going to do? Are we going to stick him with Luminara? Yeah, maybe a Relic 7 Luminara is going to do that. But I mean, who has that other than
to
the
me?
Kraken?
I think the best option for this would have been what Heinzie was suggesting, in my opinion, to have some kind of new tag that connects him and bring it to old characters. Give us a new team with Jedi Luke, Rolo, Cholo, and co. So sorry, I cut somebody off. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everything about this release is just going to CG's playbook, where great, Darth Revan, wonderful character, but it's kind of missing something. 2 weeks later is when we got when we got Malik. It's
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again. And we get mad at CG for being a terrible company because they make their product not the way we want them to. And don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of CG, but we expect more and we get disappointed. We get angry with them. This
No,
is
I
just what they
disagree.
do.
I disagree, Fulbright. To be honest, I disagree with that.
That was
I think
Yoda
that if we
Force.
had a-
It was Yoda Force.
Oh, sorry, Yoda. My apologies, man. Sorry,
Oh,
Yoda. Can't take me anywhere. Sorry about that. We already knew that. But no, I disagree with that point because we wouldn't be up in arms so often if we had better communication, which we don't have now. At the end of the day, if things are still coming and they go, guys, this is just the start of something new, we then know that. At the moment, we're not hearing a damn thing, and that's the only reason that we're getting up in arms. Lack of communication, right there.
And I'm going to
I
pump
agree
the
with that.
brakes. We've talked about this a lot, and we've beat this subject to just absolutely dead. I want to focus on Luke, but I could not agree with you more. The communication is one of the biggest issues, and the lack of content. Now, I apologize that I'm using my Discord to show this, so the names are going away right now, but I've got some stats here. I'll just mute that for a little bit. From Mall Pills. I think this is interesting. I want to get your guys' take on this. He sent this to me live, and sorry for I forgot about the icons that I had on screen, so this went away for a little bit a second ago. But this is the percentage of all players, according to SWGoH, so it's obviously going to be not a full representation, but if anything, it'll be skewed more in favor of more people having, or less people having it, because the more committed players end up on .gg. But the percentage of all players on .gg that have the required characters at Gear 13, okay? So Commander Luke Skywalker, 20% of the player base had him at Gear 13. Rolo, less than 1%. Captain Han Solo, less than 1%. Wampa, less than 3%. Chewbacca, 15%. Darth Vader, 6%. C-3PO, 12%. Lando, less than 1%. And Hermit Yoda, 2%. And so while the character reworks, the character requirements, I think, make sense in a lot of ways, I think that kind of supports the notion of cash grabbing, in my humble opinion. Any reactions to that? Does that surprise anyone?
No, those characters, a lot of them suck.
Yeah,
I mean,
one
unless
thing.
you're well out, you're not getting. I mean, you're not
When-
getting Captain Han and
Let's
Ron.
face it, Urs is the only one that knows how to actually make Rolo work.
That's true.
And I'm sure R2D2 is quite a bit higher on there, but he's not required. So quick question for you guys then. With that considered, obviously we got a lot of characters that aren't very good right now. Do you feel like it would be goodwill, or it should be expected to some degree, that Capital Games rework some of the characters that are needed so that they can be both used with the character that you get as part of this journey, and so that you have some added value for those characters rather than just farming something to check off a box?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
It's a start.
Absolutely.
That would be nice, but I mean, CG has proven time and time again they don't like doing reworks because it gets them absolutely no money.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, how much would that do for you guys? I mean, somebody talk me through your logic on how important that would be to you. Does it feel like something that is missing and it pisses you off, or is it just like, it'd be nice, but I don't need it?
I think it's extremely important, Cubs. I think that whenever you have a game that is going on 5 years of being active, you have to continuously do reworks to keep, existing content or existing characters and stuff viable. The funnest part of the game is when you have a robust roster that is highly usable.
Right.
That's the key.
Right.
So and especially your older free to play players would probably be more incentivized to actually log in more if a lot of their characters suddenly become usable again.
I'll throw it.
I think that's just important. Go ahead, Yoda.
I'll throw it the other way. I think if they've reworked these players, the new and up and coming players are unlocking tunes that are useful and fun to use instead of tunes that are just so weak that they get destroyed in any kind of competitive format. So yeah, rework some players, make it fun for the new guys coming in too.
And I think with these requirements, this is something that I feel about it too. I really appreciate your perspective on that. I think also for people who, for the common man out there who's slow farming these things free to play, when you look at Grand Arena, you take a break from farming useful stuff to bolster your roster for Grand Arena, right? For some of you Krakens in here, you know, you've got a lot of toys. Obviously, you're going to want more, but I think a lot of us are really looking for holes to fill in our Grand Arena approach. And when you have to take a break to go get Jedi Luke or go get Galactic Legends, it does kind of feel like a bit of a slap in the face to have these characters you have to farm that aren't going to add any value anywhere in the game. And so I think this is also something I hope Capital Games at some point corrects. I guess like Rambam said, he has a bit of a cynic approach to it too, kind of like me, that maybe they just won't do that. But I think it would take a lot of the frustration out of this to at least farm characters that we can then go, all right, I'm not getting Jedi Luke yet, but I've got this new team with Rebel Officer Leia Organa and Captain Han Solo with their rework that is going to add this defensive value in Grand Arena for me while I wait for the big one. Or I've got a secondary Resistance team with a Rose Tico rework and a Haldo rework and Resistance Pilot that's going to add value in Grand Arena in the meantime. I think that would do a lot to, I guess, make this less frustrating for the community.
Any refresh on, refresh, rework, call it whatever you want. Any refresh on any existing character, that can't be a bad thing. It really can't be a bad thing, to be honest, because that means that they're looking at it and they want to improve it, and the love for the passion for the game and those characters are real because they're putting time and effort into improving them. Right. That could never be a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing if they were to rework characters at all for the community, but for them, it's a bad thing. And there was actually a comment I wanted to shout out. Brad, he said that possibly they could be working, and it sounds very much like CG. They could be bringing out General Solo, General Organa, and General Lando, and use them with Skywalker to get Grandmaster Luke, and that actually would make a lot of sense if we're looking at stuff that CG has done in the past, and you know how much they like to bring out marquee characters or whatever the case is, and not rework characters.
All right, I think we've beat the subject down very, very effectively. I want to thank everyone. I just realized my B-roll footage stopped playing. That means we've been going for 40 minutes. So sorry about I was so focused on the conversation, I didn't even look at it. Got a couple questions in the chat. We're going to go in just random questions, and somebody jump on them and answer them. Who has the most GP out of everyone here? That's from Kitch Monster.
Not me.
Not me. Not it.
Fulbright?
Not me.
I'm pretty sure it's Fulbright, I think. Or Yoda.
I think it's Fulbright.
Fulbright, what's your GP?
Almost 7.6.
Woo! 7.6.
Damn.
All right, here's a good one from Carl Rich Guy. He's got two questions. He's asking good ones today. What are your guys' ideas for what we should get in terms of new content? What do you want to see?
Mode, live PvP, something that we can actually use our characters in.
They've said no to that, so please give me new ideas.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
They are wrong.
To be fair, they said no to everything. They said no to everything.
They even said no to a Mace rework. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but let it go. Dude, do a Frozen and let it go. Seriously.
All right, this is from Toyota Canada. You have the power to bring one character to the game. Who do you bring?
Yoda punching Scout Trooper from Mando.
Well, he said I can't pick Mace, so I'm gonna go Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda?
Definitely Baby Yoda.
Mary Jade Skywalker.
Oh, okay, here we got the most important question. This is from Z Hershey. What is your favorite character to spin in Galaxy of Heroes?
Wouldn't mind spilling it. Wouldn't mind spinning a bit of Bastila Shan myself, gentlemen, but that's just my personal thoughts there.
Oh, Fulbright, he doesn't like spinning at all. He just jumped off. Oh, there he is. Fulbright, what were you saying?
Jango Fett, man.
Jango Fett. Yeah, he gets down, man. He gets down.
Mace Windu. Is that even a question?
Wow.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
Come on.
This guy is always on about Mace Windu.
Hey,
Bring in
Oh,
Jar.
dude.
This
It's gonna
guy
happen
over
at
here.
some point.
We
It's
need
gonna happen.
a 3-way territory war, Cubs. We need a 3-way territory war.
Oh yeah, like like
okay.
DSA. That'd be great.
Yeah.
We do enjoy
we-
those 3-way territory wars.
Yeah. And we need the 5-team or the 5-member team GAC. That would
Yes.
be pretty damn sweet.
Ooh.
That would be dope. Ooh, that would be really dope. Okay. All right, and then I think another good question. Let's see who was asking this. I missed it in the chat. Favorite. Somebody was asking about your favorite 5v5 teams. I'd like to modify that question. Just ask, what's your favorite team in the game that you farmed?
Mando.
Imperial Troopers. Imperial Troopers.
Yeah. Love my bounty hunters, man. Massive fan of bounty hunters.
So we got
They're
Bounty
fun.
Hunters, Mando, Imperial Troopers, Yoda. What'd you say?
Mando.
Mando.
Bounty hunters, yeah.
So
They're
good.
fun. They're so much fun.
They are
Hell yeah, they are.
amazing.
And I want to
I
point
still-
out, it's interesting to me that nobody picked a meta team.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point. It's a game. It's fun. I still reckon that the payout mechanic for the bounty hunters is still one of the best mechanic they invented. I really enjoy that mechanic. It's fun to get up and running, and they just really blitz when they do. It's just a lot of fun.
I'd actually say
Phoenix
it's
is pretty cool.
it's either a tie between bounty hunters or Newt for me. Actually, I
Oh, yeah, Newt.
really enjoy
Oh, what did
separatists.
you say?
Separatists in general are just really fun.
All right, well
Phoenix.
that's gonna
is
do it
fun.
for today. I just want to wrap this up and thank all of you for joining me for this video, and thanks to everyone who was here live participating as well. Just a reminder to be respectful in the comments. You guys really got to learn to appreciate that people just see things differently than you. And so while I disagree with some of the takes that were brought forward today, I still love these guys and I respect them, and I'm not going to be a dick to them. And so that means you guys too in the comments, don't be that guy. I will
I mean,
wrench
you can to Ram Bam. You can to Ram Bam. Though.
Yeah,
That's fine.
except for Ram Bam. Except for Ram Bam, yeah, you guys can rip on him all you want for his merciless love of Mace Windu.
You can, but I'd really like to see in the chat some preloads for Heinze.
Oh, he's throwing
Dude,
the shade.
dude. Don't give me that crap, brother. Seriously. Oh.
All right, and then last thing, who made it to the end of the video? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And as always, my brothers, don't forget